shine, for your light has come, and the glory of Yahweh is upon you. Welcome, welcome, family, to Feast on Torah. Today, we're talking about under surveillance. And have you ever felt like you've been watched? Maybe by cameras on the streets, your social media being tracked, or even just people around you waiting to see what you'll do next? Well, surveillance play a pivotal role in modern society. Security conscious everywhere, providing a way to observe, document, and interpret behaviors, activities, and communications. Now, what is the purpose of surveillance in this modern day? Now, modern day surveillance is all about understanding and anticipating family. It involves monitoring individuals, monitoring environments or systems to gather information that informs decisions or resolve uncertainties. And that sounds okay, isn't it? But sometimes it can go a bit too far. There are hidden cameras, family, all over the world, and also recording devices in every nooks and crannies using discrete methods for collecting evidence, carefully integrated into environments all around the world. And these surveillance systems capture details, timestamp footage, making them indispensable in both legal and investigative scenarios for people all around the world. And it appears like these days we have no privacy at all because surveillance cameras are everywhere, and yet we're telling well, not we are, but the world is telling us, and those who are in positions, that we have democracy and that we are free. So if we are free, why are we under surveillance constantly? Now, surveillance provides concrete information that helps individuals and organizations and address specific challenges with clarity and confidence. But did you know that the Bible tells us that we are always being watched? By whom? By the world, by the enemy, and most importantly, by the Most High Yah. But who is monitoring the wicked, you may ask? All the evil family that is going on around the world, they are also under surveillance. By who? By the Most High. Now, whether they choose to believe it or not, Yah's watchful eyes does not miss one single thing. He sees the good and he also sees the evil. Now, today we're diving into what it means to live under surveillance, especially under the watchful eye of our Creator. So let's find out what is the difference between the world's eyes on us and Yah's eyes on us. What are the differences? And how does understanding this truth will change the way we live? Stay with me as we explore this powerful biblical perspective, surveillance. Now, we'll be looking at the reasons why the world have us under surveillance. And there are some reasons, and they are watching us to judge, watching us to control, and watching us to manipulate. Let me repeat that. The world surveillance system, Big Brother as they call it, the beast system, is watching us to judge and watching us to control us and also watching to manipulate. Let's look at the number one. The world watches us with judgment. People observe us, waiting for us to slip up. You might be familiar with that. You might know some people who are observing you, waiting for you to slip up. And society is so quick to criticize and slow to forgive. And believe it or not, brothers and sisters, there are people watching you today because they hate you for one reason or another, or just hate you because of who you are. You might not think you're anything special, but they can see your light and they hate you, and they are watching you to slip. They are watching you so when you can fall, they can have a good laugh. There are people watching you because they hate you. And if you look in John chapter 15, verses 18 to 19, I'll be reading from the Amplified Bible, and it says, "If the world hates you, and it does, know that it has already hated me it before it hated you. And if you belong to the world would love you as its own and would treat you with affection. But you are not of the world. You no longer belong to it. But I have chosen you out of the world. And because of this, the world hates you." And some of you today might be trying to live the right and godly way of living, and there are people around you thinking that, who do you think you are? And they hate you because you're coming out of darkness, trying to find your way and stay in the light. And rather than supporting you and helping you and assisting you, they turn around and they hate you because you have chosen not to keep walking in the ways of the world. So they are watching to judge, they're watching to control and to manipulate you. So you're under constant surveillance by your haters. Let me say that again. We are constantly under surveillance by haters, people, some people who are in your life. They hate you because of who you are and because of what you're trying to do the right thing. They hate you because of your gift and your talent. They hate you because of your family circles. They hate you, just hate you for some time for no reason. They just hate you. The world also watches us with their surveillance to conform. They want to conform us. Social media, trends, and peer pressure. What are they aim? They aim to shape our thinking and actions, pushing us toward worldly values rather than pushing us towards the values of the Most High that is written in His Torah. And if we look in Romans 12, chapter 2, what does it tell us? "And do not be conformed to this world any longer with its superficial values and customs, but be transformed and progressively changed as you mature spiritually by the renewing of your mind, focusing on godly values and ethical attitudes so that you may prove for yourselves what the will of Elohim is, that which is good and acceptable and perfect in His plan and purpose for you." So, our values should no longer, family, be superficial, and we should be detaching ourselves from the world's values and the world's custom. And if you're a believer trying to walk the walk according to the mandate of the heavenly kingdom, we should be free. You should be free of the world's customs and of the world's values. And you should be focusing on being transformed as you mature spiritually. We are all under surveillance 24/7 also by the Most High. Now think about that. Doesn't matter how clever you are under surveillance. The big eye is on you. The Father is watching you. Are you walking in obedience or are you walking in disobedience? The world watches us again to manipulate us, especially the governments, corporations, and systems monitor our behavior. Why? To influence our choices and blinded us to see the real reason behind their surveillance. And they are excellent, and especially among the unbelieving. And let's hear what the scripture have to say in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 4. And it reads, "Among them, the God of this world, Asatan, has blinded the minds of the unbelieving to prevent them from seeing the illuminating light of the gospel of the glory of Yahushai, who is the image of Elohim." So The unbelieving and even some believers believe that they are in the light when the reality is they are in complete darkness. And that is a very scary place to be. We are being manipulated day by day. You turn your TV on, and before you sit down for 3 minutes, there's an advert on telling you you should buy this, that the car you now have parked outside is no longer good. You need to be updated. The shoe you're now wearing, that's old fashioned. You need to change that. The TV screen you now have, it's too small. You need a bigger one, and so forth and so on. And we are manipulated day by day. Again, by whom? Governments, corporations, and all manner of systems monitoring our behavior. And you think you're not being watched. Yes, you are. Matthew 6, verse 23 reads, Matthew chapter 6, verse 23. But if your eye is bad, spiritually blind, in other words, your whole body will be full of darkness, devoid of Yah's precepts. So, if the very light inside you, your inner self, your heart, your conscience, is darkness, how great and terrible is that darkness? Many people are walking around thinking that they're holier than thou, that they're all right, that they can get away with everything that they're doing because they are not hurting anyone. And my brothers and my sister, they are spiritually blind because they think they are in light. And the word of the Most High just told us, if your eye is bad, spiritually blind, your whole body will be full of darkness. Your whole mentality is devoid of Yah's precepts, his commandments, what he told you to do. You are not living by them at all. So you are under surveillance. So if the very light you believe in your heart is so bright, the word of Yah is saying it is great darkness. And how great and terrible is that darkness when you think what is light is darkness. So be aware. These days, we need to self-examine our hearts, our soul, and our mind, because deception is running rampant around the world. Matthew 6:23 warns us very clearly about this delusional condition. And we should put ourselves under personal surveillance, family, every day from the Most High perspective, and stop behaving as we can see clearly when in reality we are completely spiritually blind. And it says what? How great and terrible is that darkness. That's Matthew 6:23. Now, the devil also does surveillance. What does he do? Watching to accuse and destroy. And Satan is called the accuser, as was in Revelation 12:10. He watches to find reasons to bring condemnation and guilt. And in 1 Peter 5, verse 8, 1 Peter 5, verse 8, it reads, be sober, well balanced, and self-disciplined. Be alert and cautious at all times, not sometime, all times, that the enemy of yours, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, fiercely hungry, seeking someone to devour. That means he cannot devour everyone. He's seeking those who are not alert, those who can walk around stiff-necked, disobedient, and he knows that you're not walking in the will of the Most High. So what does he do? He walks around looking for those who are disobedient, seeking what? To devour. Why? Because he's fiercely hungry to devour anyone who is not walking in the light. Yes, family, the enemy is recording your every move, especially all of your sinful behavior, and his surveillance is never turned off. He no longer accuses believers in the Most High's presence, but his influence is still on earth, and it still continues today. He seeks to devour, as we read in 1 Peter 5:8. The enemy is watching. What is he watching for? For your weakness. To do what? To tempt and attack you. That's what he does. He still seeks to deceive and condemn people today. And one of his surveillance method is deception. And it's used not to build you up, but to lead you astray. You know, people who drink, for example, at a party, and someone is saying, I've had enough, I've got to drive. Oh, no, 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 have one more drink. No, no, no. And that persistent voice, you drink one more drink, next minute you're in the car making your way home, and bang, you have an accident, you get breathalyzed, the police comes along. What happened? You lose your license and whoever. You might even hurt yourself or even kill someone because the enemy's voice tell you have that one more drink. Yes, have that one more drink. Do this thing. You know, things that your spirit says I should not be doing this, but another voice come along and tell you, oh, go on. And his surveillance methods is what? Deception. And it is used not to build you up, family. It is to lead you astray. And we have also Yah's surveillance. Yah watches over his people with love and he watches us with care. And we see that in Psalm 121, verses 7 to 8. Psalm 121, verses 7 to 8. The Most High Yah will protect you from all evil. He will keep your life. The Most High will guard your going out and your coming in. Everything that you do from this time forth and forever. Here we see that we are in constant surveillance by the Most High. But the big difference, he is watching us to protect us from evil and from us also to keep our lives. He's protecting us from evil so we may live. We are under Yah's watchful eye so that he can guide us when we are off track. And his purpose for his surveillance is to guide us back on the right path. If today you've made a mistake, family, brother or sister, you're under surveillance. He's watching you to make sure that you hear when he does speak to guide you back on track. Okay? You are not abandoned. So listen to his voice and watch when he gives you instruction. Listen. His eyes are on the righteous. First Peter 3:12 tells us that he is watching to guide us, not to condemn us. The Father is watching you, not to condemn you, not to put fear in you. He's watching you to guide you and not to condemn you. First Peter 3:12, for the eyes of the Most High are looking favorably upon the righteous, the upright, and his ears are attentive to their prayer, eager to answer. But the face of the Most High is against those who are evil. And in other words, those who practice evil. That was First Peter chapter 3, verse 12. If you are walking in his righteous ways, his surveillance is looking out for you, not to condemn you, but looking favorably to bless you and to answer your prayers. So be encouraged. And if you are stiff-necked, thinking and behaving as the Most High, as if he is blind or he's deaf, you are in for a rude awakening because his face will be against you, and you are classified, therefore, as those who practice evil. Time for a self-check, family, self-check. We also know that Yah rewards the faithful, unlike the world which watches us to catch us making mistakes. He watches us to bless us and ensure that we walk in obedience according to Matthew chapter 6, verse 4. I'll read that for you. Matthew chapter 6, verse 4. So that your charitable acts will be done in secret, and your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. So even what is done in secret, the Most High surveillance will capture that. He will capture the good, he will capture the bad, and he also captures the ugly. His surveillance is far above this world's most sophisticated technology because our Heavenly Father sees what we do not see. Even the secret things, those things that goes on in our head, those secret thoughts, his surveillance don't miss it. It does not miss it. He sees things that other people cannot see. And if we look in Psalm 139, chapter 4, even before there is a word on my tongue, still unspoken, behold, O Yahuwah, you know it all. You hear that? Even before you speak, his surveillance captured your thoughts. So take stock of your thoughts and remember the Most High is the master of surveillance of the seen and is also the master of the surveillance of the unseen. So, how should we respond? We should live our lives, family, with integrity, knowing that Abba Yah sees everything, and we should be encouraged to live a holy life, as we see in Proverbs 5:21. For the ways of man are directly before the eyes of the Most High, and he carefully watches all of his paths, all of his comings and goings. See, his surveillance is always on. The Father is watching you going out, he watches you coming in, he watches you sitting down, and he watches you rising up. We should fear our Father, fear Yah and not man. The world may watch with judgment, but only Yah's judgment is final. And here is a stern warning, a very stern warning to all the stiff necked listeners under the sound of my voice. Those of you who the Father has been rebuking and been warning and been talking to you time after time, but you will not listen. Let Matthew 10, verse 28 speak to you. It says, do not be afraid of those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul, but rather be afraid of him who can destroy both soul and body in what location? Hell. Don't be afraid of people and their surveillance, even if they can kill you. But the Bible just teaches us, but be very afraid of the one who will kill and go one step further. Not only he can destroy both your soul, but he can also destroy your body. And where will that body be? In the location will be hell. So the Most High is watching us to guide us, family, protect us, and reward us. As it is a very, very big difference from the world. This is just a brief, short lesson. Do not let the world scare you. There are people committing all sort of atrocities, all the wickedness that we see around the world, and it can be overwhelming. It can even bring anxiety. I am here to just encourage you. The Father is in control. He is watching. His surveillance camera never turns off. And their payday is coming, family. Payday is coming for the wicked. So be encouraged. Walk the walk. Don't just talk the talk. Live according to his instructions, okay? Don't be afraid to walk the way the Father has asked you to walk. You are under surveillance. We are all under surveillance, whether we believe it or not. We need to fix up our lives. We are living in the very dark, evil days, but his light is still shining, and he wants you to walk according to his plans and his purposes. Remember that you are constantly, whether you believe it or not, you are constantly being surveyed by the Most High. But don't forget, the world and the devil is also watching. But if you are in the Messiah and doing what the Torah teaches, you are safe, because the Father is watching to help you and guide you and lead you back on the right path. Hallelujah. So we are always being watched. By whom? The world watches to judge and manipulate and to condemn. The enemy watches us to accuse. But our Abba Yah watches with love, guiding us and calling us to a life of purpose. So, who will you live for, family? The world's approval or the Most High's eternal reward? I pray that you will live for his eternal reward, and let this lesson be a blessing to you. If this message spoke to you, let's start living like we are under divine surveillance. Don't forget, Yah sees, Yah knows and Yah cares. If this lesson encouraged you, please share this with someone who needs to hear it today. And also please like, share and subscribe to the channel. And arise, shine, for your light has come. Shalom, and see you in the next one. Shalom.